Hi folks, I'm Ian Baker, the product specialist, and today we get to go over the 2019 Airstream Atlas. This is their all-new B+. They brought it out at the 2018 model year. For 2019, they haven't changed a whole lot. They've kept a lot of it the same for good reason. It just came out. It's been a great product, an excellent B+. Not a lot of change is needed. One of the things they did bring to the 2019 model year is the Tommy Bahama edition. The one we're going to review today is not that. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet. However, when I do, I will certainly go over that as well. But without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the 2019 Atlas and some of the amenities and things that it brings to the table. If we start off right here, we'll actually look at the ceiling. So the thing I love about this is they have the beautiful aluminum ceiling that Airstream is very well known for. It gives it that luxurious look and feel that you've come to know from Airstream. Also, you'll see that you have air intakes right here. That's because this one has the QuietStream AC system, meaning that when you have other guests or if it's just you watching TV, it'll be about 30 to 35% quieter here in the coach. So that way you can stay nice and cool and not have to yell at each other or turn the TV way up and blast everyone's eardrums out. Plus, you also have directional cooling here, so you're able to turn your vents. You'll notice the power skylight here. You have the screens, that way you can actually open this all the way up. You don't have a bunch of bugs coming in. It is power. I'll show you the control a little bit later here, but you just touch a button and then that will lift right up. You can remove the screen if you want, just to be straight open. And then you also have the full like night shade, if you will. You know, normally on a side window, it's a privacy shade, but here it basically just blocks out all the light. You'll also notice, you make your way a little bit back here, a little bit further, you have one of your two fantastic fans. You have one in here, another one in the bathroom. Both of those, of course, are powered, and they have rain sensors on there as well. If we take a look over to this side here, let's actually look over at the entry door. Gorgeous entry door on the Atlas. You know, this is something that Airstream is very well known for, are their entry doors. And it's especially important on a motorhome because oftentimes this is what rattles. And Airstream does a fantastic job. When you put it in drive, you'll actually hear that door. And when you're going down the road, this door does not rattle at all. It is rock solid. You'll also see that you have the privacy screen here, so that way again you can block off the light. The other thing I like about it though is it does have the clear window, so if you have any guests that come up to the door, you can see who's out there. And then if you want to completely open up the door, again you have a pullover screen here that's tucked away, so that way you can get some airflow coming through the coach. It does a great job if you open that door up, close the screen, and then turn on your power vent fans as well. It really gets some airflow coming through here. Making our way down on the side, if you take a look at this one actually has the optional white uppers. So this is an option on here. You have a couple different wood colors. You'll see the darker right here. You also have a lighter option. And then again, you have an option to have the white uppers, which has been optioned in here. You'll see the auxiliary lights up top. Beautiful lighting in this coach. It's very bright, so even at night, you know, especially with the bright colors in here, it is very open and airy. We'll open these up for you. You can take a look at the storage in there. Obviously, you have hidden hinges, self-supporting struts there as well. Great storage up top. LED light right underneath. And then you have the big window here. Not only does this give you a great view to your campsite, it also lets in natural light. And you have the power shades here. Those are controlled by that control up front again, but I can show you that in a little bit. Right down here is the TV. This is pretty great. You have a button right here. All you have to do is just push this button and the TV will lift up just like so. There it goes. Whoop. Let me push it again. There we go. So you just push it. You can let go just like so. You'll see that you have the Bose soundbar up top. So excellent sound quality there. The TV comes up just like that. And again, that way you can sit on the sofa and enjoy the TV. If you don't want it there, you want to take a view of your campsite, you can drop that right back down. You'll also see a couple other controls on here. One of them is for your power step. We'll see that a little bit more as we go outside. Of course, you can lock that in place. And then you have the battery disconnect right there too. You'll see courtesy lights all along the floor as well. You'll see you have one here in your entryway, another one here. You have one back in the bathroom, so that way you can see, at nighttime, you don't have to leave all the lights on in the coach. You can come in and be able to navigate throughout the coach here. Right down below, so if you take a look right here, you have your switch for all of your TV and electronics. I'll show you where those actually run to a little bit later, but just know that your switch is located here. Your auxiliary equipment will be located elsewhere. You'll have a little drawer right here, and then underneath, I love that they did this. This just drops down like so, but they tuck this away. It's kind of this uglyish panel. This, of course, is your fuse panel as well as your breaker panel there. But again, they did tuck that away. If we make our way over a little bit further here, you'll see the convection microwave right up top. They did this in lieu of a standard oven. I think this is a great option. Great thing about convection is it cooks nice and quick, plus it's way easier to clean. And then underneath that, you have the NovaCool fridge freezer combo. We'll open that up for you so you can take a look. Beautiful fridge freezer. This one is a compressor style. You'll see how nice and deep this one is as well. So that way you have plenty of cold storage in there, nice and easy for the thermostats. You have one here in the fridge, another one down in the freezer compartment. Making our way back a little bit further yet here. We'll open this up. You can see you have storage right there. And then also the pull-out pantry. This one does have adjustable shelves. Let's drop down a second here. I do want you to take a look at the floor. You have the beautiful woven floor. You know, that Airstream gets kind of this idea from the yacht industry. It's actually, you know, commonly used in the marine industry and in yachts. They have the same thing in a lot of their other products, but it is an excellent floor. It's very durable, it cleans nice and easily, and it's not very slick. You can actually get traction in here, so if you do come in with wet shoes or something, you're not going to slip and fall and hurt yourself. If we take a look across the way, I do want to touch on this. This is the multiplex system. So you have a bunch of things that are tied into this. You have a main control panel, which again, I'll show you in a little bit. But you have a couple of these throughout the coach as well for just quick access. So you can see your lights are on here, the TV control, you know, as well as, you know, again, your light master. So some of your power slides can be operated there, or the shades rather, I'm sorry. So that's great that, again, you have those controls, and throughout the coach, they will control different things. Now, one of the biggest pieces of the Atlas, of course, is the slide out. It is a fantastic slide out system. It's a Schwintek slide. Now, if you know anything about Schwintek, they kind of had a rough start. However, they have corrected the issues they had. They had some issues with rods, which have been fixed. My only recommendation on Schwintek, folks, and definitely take this to heart, is that when you operate the slide, push and hold the button. So when it comes all the way in, hold it just for a couple seconds. You'll actually hear the motors. You'll hear one and then the other, and then you can let go. You're not going to do any damage to the slide by holding it down, but that will ensure that both those motors are aligned. But if you do that and you always have good voltage, you won't have any issues with the slide. It is a fantastic system. Also, of course, this is the Murphy bed. Now you have the jackknife sofa right here. This drops down. You'll see the beautiful Corian insert right here as well. So you have that, you know, kind of cool little area to set your glasses, things like that. This one does have a couple seat belts, so you can have additional riders here. And obviously this helps form the Murphy bed. Now, when you are sitting here, if you want to kick back and relax, both sides have the power footrest. So all you have to do is just like that. It'll lift right up. It can, you know, do the same thing to bring it right back down. But I really enjoy that, especially if you're a little bit older and you don't have the leg strength, because a lot of times they're a little bit harder to click into place. Being power makes it super simple. So without further ado here, let's drop this down into a bed. Both of these do have USB ports, or you have USB ports on both sides rather, so you can plug in any cell phones at night. You also have an electrical outlet down there if you need to plug in like a CPAP machine or something like that. And then what we'll do is you're actually going to drop this sofa down. So there's a control right over here. You just push this control, and just like this, the power sofa will lay itself down. Now, the cool thing about this, folks, is that, you know, this gives you kind of an additional sleeping space. You know, if it's just you want to take a quick nap, you can, of course, just lay down right here. You know, there are some gaps, so it's not super comfortable, but for one person, if you lay right here, it's, you know, generally more than enough. For the Murphy bed itself, obviously you have the mirror there, you know, kind of like the porthole look. It's kind of has that Airstream look and feel. You have these little handles. You can actually flip these, so that way they're not out during the day, but otherwise you just kind of push. They come right out like so. And what you'll want to do to lower the bed is you kind of grab this handle, you'll pull a little bit, and there's a switch right down here. So as you're pulling, you pull this switch, it'll break free, and the bed will drop right down. Up front, you have this little headboard piece. You'll drop that down. That, of course, is where you'll place your pillows. You'll see it is on a natural angle, which is nice for when you're sleeping. You know, instead of your head going down, they have it angled this way, so it props your head up a little bit. The bed itself when it's fully made, is about 6 foot by 6 foot, about 72 inches either way. I took a tape measure to it. You know, they claim it's a little bit larger, but my measurements, again, said about 72 by 72. You have an actual mattress on here, which is fantastic. Then you'll also see the Frole leaf spring system. You know, it doesn't look like a whole lot. It's essentially just these plastic pieces underneath, but I'm telling you folks, it makes a huge difference in the comfort when you're sleeping. You know, definitely when you're out there shopping, you know, lay down on here, just kind of, you know, feel the bed, because chances are you'll be spending a lot of nights on here. You want to make sure you're going to be comfortable. I think Airstream did a great job though. You have lights tucked away right underneath, some reading lights there. So if you want to do some reading, you can pop those up and around. You also have storage up along the sides here, a window right there. So, you know, if you don't want to run the AC, you can open that up to help get some airflow at night. And then you have the power shade there as well. Again, you have the LED lights going all the way across. Putting the bed away is just as simple. You want to make sure you put that guy back up, and then all you'll do is you'll just fold this up like so. This will lock right back into place, and then you can just push the button to move the sofa back into its upright position. So a fantastic Murphy bed, works perfectly in a floor plan and a setup like this. And of course, the advantage of having the Murphy bed is it gives you a huge rear bath, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. First, though, I do want to hit on the kitchen. You know, even though it's not a huge kitchen, they did a good job here because they gave you covers on basically everything, so that way you do have some prep space. Beautiful Corian countertops on here. In high-end residential appliances, folks, you have a Kohler faucet as well as a Kohler sink here. You can see the name on it right there. You know, so it's something, again, that you would have in a home, whereas a lot of RV manufacturers, you know, they'll try to cheap out a little bit on the hardware. Airstream does not. Right over here is your trash can, so kind of a convenient spot right there. You can throw everything away, then just take the trash can, take it right outside. Super simple, you know, nice little space savings there. Window right here in the back. Again, you can lift this guy up if you want just the screen, or you can have the night shade there. You'll also see over here on the wall, again, one of those multiplex controls. As I mentioned, this one will control some other things, such as like the lights here in your galley or the water pump. 2-burner cooktop. This one is recessed with the glass cover again, so you can use that as prep space. Pop it up. There are your 2 burners. And then if we take a look underneath, this one is just a drop down. Obviously, they can't put a drawer here because the sink is in the way. And then right underneath that, you have a little drawer space there. But under that, I really like this one. You get a deep storage space right there, which in my opinion is great for some of your pots and pans. You'll notice your propane detector right down there. Hopefully that never goes off on you. Over to this side, you have some extra countertop space. So, you know, I like, again, that they did that because, as I said, it's not a huge kitchen, but they did help give you some extra space, and you can definitely make this space work. Pull-out drawer with the divider already built in. And then a couple more drawers right underneath here. I'll just pull those open for you real quick, just so you can kind of get an idea of the space you're working with here in your kitchen. Again, another courtesy light right down below. Right up top, I don't want to forget about this one. Again, you have that white upper, so great storage up there too. So we make our way in the back. You'll see the gorgeous pocket door on here. It is a very large pocket door, folks. Let me unlock it here for you so I can close it. But you can see how big it is. It is magnetic, so it shuts just like that. You'll also see the porthole on there, you know, the very, again, Airstream look to it. When you make your way inside here, we'll start right over on this side. We'll kind of go through some of the storage. The first thing I do want to show you is this beautiful wardrobe in here. So if we can take a look, you'll see the cedar-lined closet in here, folks. This is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful closets. You know, of course, cedar-lined, you have that nice cedar smell. Adjustable shelf, you have the hanging rod up top, lights in both. You'll also see that they give you pillows as well as bedding for that bed. You know, being 6 by 6, a little bit of an awkward size, so they do give you all the bedding that's required for it. These are your 2 legs for your tables. You have 2 tables. I did kind of forget to show you where those are. You have one that's basically right in front of the couch, another one up front by the cockpit, so when you spin around your driver and passenger seats, you can use that table. So they give you both those legs, and they put them in their own little carrying case here. Then underneath, you have all of your manuals, everything else, but again, great storage right in the back. You'll also notice a couple large drawers down here, so plenty of extra space for all the clothes that you need to fold. All of your jeans, pants, shorts, everything else. And then if you take a look right up front here, we'll start up top. You have the mirrored medicine cabinet. I'll open that up for you so you can see. Beautiful medicine cabinet, you know, rather than having just like a plastic backer or something like that. They, really built a nice one. I like the fact they have the rails here as well, so stuff's not flying out while you're traveling. This right here is your water heater control. Folks, this one has your Suburban tankless water heater. So that way you can have constant heat. That's fantastic. You want to take a little bit longer shower, that will allow you to do it. Again, one of the multiplex controls outlet. Beautiful, again, Corian countertops, and one more time, Kohler faucet and sink. So as I mentioned, they didn't cheap out anywhere. They also have the aluminum shroud right here up front. I think that's kind of a nice addition, keeping very true to that Airstream look and feel. And then if we open this up, you will see a little bit of storage over on this side. Tiny bit in the front, maybe able to fit some, black tank chemicals or cleaning chemicals or something in there. But of course, your P-trap takes up a lot of that space too. And then right next door is the beautiful residential style shower. You'll see that you have the teak inlay right there in the back, and you also have LED lights running the entire height here of the shower, which not only give it that residential look and feel, but also obviously provide a lot of light. When I step into the neo-angle shower here, you'll see that the doors are in a roller track, which is fantastic because that way when you're done showering and you open it up, all the water goes right down the doors into the shower pan, unlike a swing door, which oftentimes the water will end up on the floor. When I do close this, you'll see you have a magnet there so it stays closed, but you can see I have plenty of room to be able to turn. I'm fairly wide in the shoulders, and as far as B's and B pluses go, this is actually a pretty good size shower. You'll also see the height here. I'm about 6 foot. I have plenty of room to the ceiling, so even if you're a little bit taller, 6'2", you can still shower in here without having to duck down. You'll notice that the hand wand is Kohler brand, as well as the valve. That's a big deal for the valve here. A lot of times, and a lot of manufacturers use a little bit cheaper valve, may go out a little bit sooner, causes plumbing problems. Certainly not the issue here. And then, of course, you have a shelf for your soap and shampoo. When we step out, right up top, again, that white upper, as I mentioned, that one is the option. Open that up, you can see good storage space, perfect for some extra toilet paper, things like that. And then you'll see the aluminum accent wall. You have that here behind the toilet. You also had it behind the sink. Really help pulling all those Airstream elements together. Right up above is that fantastic vent fan I had mentioned. I said there's 2 of them in here, one out there, the other one right in here. And as I previously mentioned, that one does have the rain sensor. When we drop right down below, you'll see mounted on the door is your toilet paper holder. Obviously, you can lift it up just like that to replace, but nice residential style toilet paper holder. And then you have your foot flush lever toilet located right next to it. As we take a look up front, one of the things you'll notice is the control right here behind the driver's seat. That is your VB air ride suspension, and while that is generally an option on the interstate, it does come standard on the Atlas. So that way you'll have that smooth ride going down the road, as well as add extra stability while you are parked at your campsite. Right up top here, you'll see that you have storage right on that side. Open this front up, and you have a light up here. You can turn that on or off. You can see it has a couple different brightness settings there. Good storage area up top. Right over to this side, I mentioned earlier that switch had some HDMI cables. This is where it runs to right here, folks. So this is where you will put that auxiliary equipment, but you'll control the switch as I showed you kind of right by the TV. Right next door, this is the main multiplex system right here. This is kind of your home screen. You'll see it's a beautiful digital touch screen. The home section right here kind of has a quick overview of everything. You'll see your lights on there, climate control, your tank monitoring panel, as well as the electrical system. If you move over, you have your power shades here, as well as your slide out awning, skylight, and TV controls all there. All of your lights, you can operate each of those individual or hit the master switch. Climate controls I mentioned right next door, and then some of your other settings such as screen brightness or different units you want your temperature in. Now your manual controls will be right next door. I'll open this up for you so you can take a look. And in here you'll see again your manual slide out, your EMS system is in there, manual tank monitoring panel right there, as well as your Cummins Onan 3200 watt Cummins Onan quiet generator. We'll see that when we go outside. This one also does come standard with your solar. You have 300 watts of solar up top, and so your solar controller is in there too. One other quick thing. You One of the things I didn't mention earlier is the magic suede, folks. This is a beautiful interior. You'll see this all the way throughout. It really helps bring everything together. It gives it that clean, fresh look, and it's very easy to clean. You'll see it, they have it for the slide fascia. They have the slide wrapped in it all up front here too. And also the ultra leather furniture. You'll see that on the sofa as well as the front seats right up front. And the reason I bring up that ultra leather sofa is, folks, it's not like an inexpensive bonded leather where it's going to break down over time. This is wonderful. You can, use this for years, and it won't get beat up like that bonded will, where it starts flaking off. You certainly won't have that issue with the ultra leather here. Also, I talked about the tables. You'll see one of the holes for the tables right here. You screw the leg in right up top. The tables themselves I have stored right here underneath the sofa. It's just a nice convenient spot for it, but there are your two tables right there. And as I mentioned, those legs are back in their own little private cases. When we do take a look up front, as you'll see, both of these do swivel around, both the driver and passenger seats here. You have all sorts of different controls. You have lumbar support. Obviously, you can control the arc of the back here. As I mentioned, they do swivel around, and of course, you have front and back movement as well. Right up top, you'll see that they have mirrors that are installed. It seems like a minor thing, but it is something that Airstream does. It's actually not an option from Mercedes. You have this beautiful camera right up front here. The cool thing about this, folks, is this is a dedicated backup camera, which I love. So that way, you don't have to worry about what's on your center dash or have to worry about turning that off. You can have just this on. In fact, tell you what, let me go ahead and I'll start it up for you so you can take a quick look. But this is really cool. So you can see right there. So there it is, folks. You don't have to worry about what's on your main screen. There it is, everything you need. So, you can back up, make sure you're not going to hit anything as you're backing into the campsite. So, again, that is something I enjoy. Right here in this center, you have, I believe it's 7 or 8 inch is the size of your center dash right here. It is Bluetooth capable, as you'd expect. It is prepped for Sirius XM. So, if you want Sirius, you can have that as well. That's all hooked up, ready to go. Also, this one does have navigation built in. So if you want navigation, you'll see this right over here. Navigation's built in. So the cool thing about this system too, folks, is that you can kind of, customize a little bit to your coach. And so, because it is built for RVs, it helps you avoid things like some of your low-hanging bridges, things like that. But just a fantastic system here overall. Obviously, everything else you would expect in your Mercedes chassis, your thermostat controls and everything are right here. And the great thing about Mercedes is the safety options. And folks, Airstream doesn't hold back. Just like the Interstate, the Atlas is fully loaded with all the safety options from Mercedes. That's lane assist, that's crash avoidance. Everything is built right in here. You have extra airbags, so hopefully you never have an accident, but if you do, you're protected from impacts as well. They really go all out. And then obviously you have the cup holder right there, the little change tray. The cigarette lighter there. Not that you'd ever, maybe people still use it, I don't know. But either way, you do get the 12 volts. That way you can plug in some auxiliary equipment if you want to. But overall, like I said, the great thing about the Mercedes is it's safe and it is a wonderful driver. Great gas mileage in here too. They're expecting somewhere between 16 to 18 miles to the gallon. I haven't tested it myself, but that would not surprise me on your diesel chassis here. It has the V6 3-liter Blue Tech engine in there. So, as we know from some of the other Class Bs, they are very fuel economic. You also have your battery assist right over here. So that way, in the event that your coach battery dies, you need to make sure you start it. You can hit the battery assist. It'll pull off the home portion, so that way you can start the coach so you're not stranded. Also, we still have the plastic down. There are custom mats that do come with it. I just haven't put them down yet because again, they're still in the box. I haven't got to break everything out, but just know that your coach does come with them, as well as a privacy screen for the front. Again, that's magnetic, installs nice and easily, but I haven't busted that one out either. The last thing I want to show you is even with the slide in, you can drop the sofa just like so, and you can actually drop the Murphy bed. That way, if you need to take a nap while you're on the road, you don't have to open the slide up. Just like that, you have plenty of space to be able to lay down for a nap. Now that we've seen the inside, let's take a look at some of the outside features on the Airstream Atlas. So as I mentioned, this one is on the Mercedes Sprinter chassis, 3500 chassis. This one has your V6 3-liter Blue Tech diesel engine. A couple of the features here on the front, you'll see you have a step, so that way you can step up there if you want to get up, be able to clean the windshield off. You have bi-xenon headlights with washers, that way they'll stay nice and clean for you. And if you move up top to the windshield, one of the really cool features about this, something that you get with luxury lines like Mercedes, one is that the windshield wipers do have a rain sensor. So if it starts raining, they'll turn on for you. Again, one of those safety precautions I talked about. The other cool thing is it is actually a heated windshield. So, I know that part of the reason that we RV or travel is to get out of the cold temps, but having that feature is phenomenal while traveling. The other thing I really love about the outside of the Atlas is just how streamlined it is. It is absolutely gorgeous. They did an excellent job of trying to keep it as sleek as possible. You can see that from the front end, how it's one solid angle from the windshield all the way up. And then even when we come around to the side, you'll see that it is seamless right here in the body. Most manufacturers, they'll have it come out to a corner and then go back. And Airstream did not. It is one seamless piece here in the front, and again, the same thing in the back. If we take a look at the side mirrors, these do fold in. So that way, when you're parking, it makes it a little bit easier just to make sure no one's gonna hit you. And then right there in the side, you also have your side cameras. So that way, as you are switching lanes, again, just gives you that added protection. If you take a look at the wheels, you have Alcoa Durabrite wheels on there. Top of the line, folks, those will, they'll keep that shine and luster. There's nothing better you can get on a Class B. You'll see the running boards, that way you can easily step up into the coach. And underneath, you will actually see that you have a light down there. Of course, you can turn that off if you want, but I love the undercarriage light. It gives it a nice look, plus it is white light. So to my knowledge, from what I have been told and understand, and again, it may differ from state law, but with the white lights, you can actually keep it on while driving. Again, whether or not that's true in every state, I am not sure. Right here, this is pretty cool. So one of the things I love that Airstream did, probably my favorite on the exterior, are the stairs. Most of the time you have the folded stairs right here. It's kind of, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but in that effort to streamline everything, check out these stairs. When you open up the door, they actually fold themselves out. I love this feature. You'll also hear that little ding. That's for safety precaution. You have a little light in here that turns red, as well as that sound. And that way, whether you're entering or exiting the coach, it lets you know when the stairs are completely out. So that way you can enter safely without damaging anything. Aluminum treads on here as well, so again, that won't rust. And then you have the rubber grip strips on there as well, so that way if it is wet, you're not going to slip and fall. Plus you have the grab handle right here as well. You'll also see that the grab handle is lit up, so that way you can see it at night. As I mentioned inside, folks, you can lock those steps out, so that way, if you're at the campsite, you don't want it going in and out, it's not an issue. So you make your way back a little bit further. So one of the other things you will notice is that you don't have any handles on your outside compartments at all. Everything is controlled from the key fob as far as locking and unlocking. So all I have to do is hit the key fob, unlock, just like you're unlocking the coach, unlocks all of your compartments as well, and that will allow you to open them up. You'll see this one here is strut supported. You have a light on here that does have a motion sensor, so that way when you open up your compartment, that light turns on. Right over to this side, you have some of those outside hookups right there. So if you want an outside TV, an outside entertainment system here, you're able to hook that up right there. And then, of course, you have this so you can drop the cables down through. Another little side compartment right over to the side here. Making our way back a little further, again, the Alcoa Durabrite rims there. We'll open this compartment up. So this one is your Cummins Onan 3200 watt generator. You'll see this one has the locking arm on here. That's for maintenance purposes. It's a generator. So, like a lot of times, it has to have some maintenance over anything that's mechanical. Their generator here is no different, so it has the locking arm. It is nice and simple. In order to drop that down, if you just lift up on the door a little bit, you can pull that forward, and that will allow your arm to drop down just like so. Right here in the back, you have one more compartment. Again, you have the motion sensor light in there. And if you take a look right underneath, right down here, you also have a propane quick connect. So that way, if you want to hook up a grill, you can do that easily as well. Here in the back, what you'll do on this one, you just pull this forward. You can twist it, and that will allow you to open up this rear compartment. You take a look in here. If you take a look over to the side, not sure if we can pick it up on camera or not, but that cedar lining that they had in the bathroom, they actually ran down into this compartment as well. Which probably isn't 100% necessary, I do love the smell that comes along with the cedar. So, I like the fact that when you open that one up, you have that nice cedar smell. Beautiful paint on here, folks. One of the things I forgot to show you up front was the fact that the cab actually matches the body. It is the same paint that Mercedes uses on the cab. They match it here on the Airstream. They have a cut and buff process, so it has that shine and luster. If you go over right here, you know, the black, this dark gray, and this lighter gray, that's 3 different paint colors, and you can't feel anything when you run your hand over that. And that's thanks to that cut and buff process. They did a beautiful job on the paint here. Frameless windows, you can see that kind of inlaid right here. The great thing about the frameless windows, of course, they look much nicer, plus the seals are behind the glass. They're protected a little more, and when you open them up, they essentially tilt open like this, meaning you can have them open while it's, you know, raining out a little bit, as long as it's not a storm where, you know, you have a high winds pushing water in there. But under normal conditions, you can open that up so you can have a little airflow coming through. And then you have the Carefree awning up top. It's a power awning, touch a button, roll it out. Same thing to go right back in, of course. And that one does have a wind sensor. So if the wind gets too high, it will roll back up. You can turn that option off if you so desire. You know, just be very mindful that you're not causing any damage. If we take a look at the back here, right up top, you do have a brake light up there, which is great. So, you know, that way anyone that's traveling behind you, you know, it just gives you, again, that extra added security. That's where your backup camera is located as well. The beautiful big Mercedes symbol right there, as well as the Airstream underneath. Cool thing about the taillights, folks, those are actually the Mercedes Sprinter taillights. Most manufacturers will put in, you know, something aftermarket, but they went with the OEM right there, which I like. You do have a 5,000 pound rated hitch right down here. They have the cover on there, just like you will find on the Interstate. Gives it that, again, that clean look. You can, of course, you know, just remove that if you do plan on towing anything. Coming around to the side here. So this is your main hookup station, essentially. We'll start right in this back one. You'll see your macerator pump right here. This is on a power reel. So, you know, the thing I love about that is you're not fighting with it when it's cold out. Simply touch a button, it pulls right out. Same thing to have it wrap right back up. You'll really appreciate that in those cooler temps. You'll also see your black and gray valves here. Your tanks are insulated, so that way you have mechanical controls right here, super simple. Of course, you have the motion sensor light in there. Right next door is a black tank flush, so that way, you know, anything that doesn't come out, you can turn on that, you know, hook a hose up right there and run that black tank flush, and that way you can help wash out that black tank from anything that gets left behind. Right over to the side here is your outside shower with both hot and cold water access. Your water inlet, so what you'll do is you'll put your city water right in there. If you plan on filling your fresh water tanks, you actually have a control for that right over here, the little fresh water valve, so you'll turn that guy on. Your cable inlet, then your 30 amp supplier in this little compartment as well. Right down underneath here is your propane fill, as well as the bleeder valve. Making it forward a little bit further, this is your vent for that the water heater. As I mentioned, that is an instant on-demand water heater. And then if you take a look at the slide, so a couple things. One that I absolutely love is the fact that they built the storage compartments into the slide itself. Far too often the slide comes out, the storage compartments are underneath, and it's really difficult to get to. You know, I myself am a pretty spry young fella. Well, not so young these days, but a lot of times it's hard to get to. Not the case here. You open this up, you'll see that you have big storage compartments in here. Again, you have the motion sensored lights in both, makes it super easy to access those. And if you take a look right here, you see that frameless window, and up top, you will have your slide out topper on there. So that helps protect from sticks and pine cones and things like that. You know, that they're not dropping down on top of your slide. Then when you put your slide in, you know, causing damage to your seals. So I love that that's there. Fuel fill right over here to the side. If you're not familiar with the Mercedes chassis, you do have to open the door to be able to get to the fuel fill. It's for your own protection, so that way people aren't siphoning any diesel out of your coach. And last thing I do want to mention, I forgot to mention on the front right here, one of the things that they do in order to help with that beautiful look is they actually put on this front spoiler right here. You know, and I know, again, it's something that seems minor, but when you see the Airstream Atlas, folks, whether it's inside or outside, it is an absolutely gorgeous coach. All right, folks, that wraps it up. Again, this is the 2019 Airstream Atlas. If you're interested in this beautiful Class B and you'd like price and availability, give us a call. These are selling like hotcakes. I don't mean to sound like a cheesy sales pitch, but they really are. A lot of times we're selling them all in pre-orders. We're not even getting them on the lot. So make sure you give us a call so we can get you the best price. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.